Peace to the gods and goddesses. I am Brother Kim, and this is Key Life Productions. Today we got one for you. Taariq Noel goes up against Brother Taalib. Now, as you know, Taariq Noel says that Dr. York molested him. Said that some really crazy things happened to him when he was down in the nation, on the land. Brother Taalib says he's a liar and he's going to put him away. Without further ado, we're going to give these two gentlemen a call, and we're going to see exactly how this goes down.
Hello?
Hey, right back. I just came out. You're on live now, and I'm not even gonna waste any time. Everybody know what's going on. I'm gonna get ready to give Taariq Noel a call, and I just got one question for him, and then y'all got the floor. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Let me try that again.
Hello?
Hey, Robert.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Wait, hold on for just a second. I'm trying to put my headphones in.
Okay. I'm gonna while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and give Taariq a call. I'm not even gonna waste any time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give Taariq a call. I'm not even gonna waste any time. I got one question for him, and then y'all have the floor.
Okay.
All right.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, this is Brother Sakim. You're on live right now, and I'm getting ready to merge you. Hello, Brother Taalib?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Brother Taariq is on the line, and like I said, I just have one question for him. I just want to hear the explanation. It does not nobody jumping anybody or anything like that. I just want to ask him one question, and then y'all got the floor. Mr. Noel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The other day on Sign of the TV, the Nature Boy thing. We all know what Nature Boy's about. He talk about doing things to children and walking around talking about his son touching his dick and all this here crazy stuff. What exactly did you mean when you said I wouldn't tell him to stop doing what he's doing because we clearly know exactly what he's doing.
Well, that's a simple answer for that one. One, I never said nothing about Nature Boy. I never told Nature Boy to keep doing what he's doing.
No. Sanetta asked you because you came on and was talking about Dr. York. Sanetta asked you, well, it's not about Dr. York. We ain't talking about him. What do you think about Nature Boy? And you said, well, I'm not going to tell him to stop doing what he's doing.
Nah, I know what you're talking about. What you're referring to is when Sanetta was talking about Poppy at that time when he asked me that question, not Nature Boy.
He was talking about Poppy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know much about Poppy, so I'm going to just leave that alone. I just know about Nature Boy. But
Well, no, I mean that whole video was a video about Poppy. I think you even made a video after that, because of that. So
yeah.
I'm kind of surprised you had the person, confused. I never mentioned nothing.
But I got to go back and look at that because I'm pretty sure Sanetta was talking about Nature Boy, but I could be wrong. And if he is wrong, if I'm wrong, I apologize. Straight up, apologize to you. Now, at the matter at hand, everybody knows that you say that some things happened between you and Dr. York.
Okay, wait. Hold on for just a second, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what is his brother's name again?
Taariq Noel.
Okay.
Taariq Noel, yeah.
Okay, let me just first say this. When Sakim, my brother there, is saying that people know about you, I want to make this absolutely positively clear. I don't know anything about you. Nothing whatsoever. I've only heard things about you. I don't know anything about you. I'm not really one of those people who do the Facebook and all of that other stuff. I don't do all of that. Okay? So all of my information that I'm going to get is going to come directly, as they say, from the horse's mouth, from you. Okay? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sakim. Go ahead.
Well, no. I mean, y'all pretty much got the floor right now. Do what y'all got to do. You want to ask questions?
Okay, so then
but
I want to make this clear.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you want him to go in and tell you a little bit about himself or what happened?
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me handle this, okay? Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on for a second. Let me just deal with this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, for anyone who's ever heard me on my brother's channel here, nothing I'm saying am I saying to insult anyone, to hurt anyone's feelings, or anything like that. Okay? That is not my purpose. That has never been my purpose. If at any time anyone, I don't care who it is, thinks that is what I'm doing, you must rethink your thoughts. Because if I was doing that, I'm the kind of person that would clearly say that's what I'm doing. Okay? But that's not what I'm doing. Okay? I only deal with information that is supported by provable evidence. I do not adhere to, and I'm not into the theories, the rumors, the gossip, the hypothesis, and all of that. I have nothing to do with that. That's all on whoever wants to handle that kind of thing in their lives. I'm not down with it. Okay? All right. Tell me, to the brother Taariq, I want you to explain to me what happened. What you say happened. Please do. Thank you. And then I'll have some questions to it, of course.
I mean, the easiest way to explain it is from, living in the community once I turned 7 years old, or at a certain point.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you. When you say in the community, do you mean from the Nubian Islamic Hebrew days, from the Ansarullah days or from Eaton, Georgia?
Well, let me just, I was born and raised in a community. So I was born in 1985 in Brooklyn. So it was the Ansarullah community. We moved upstate New York. We moved down south to Georgia. I'm just saying what happened to me, okay? So at a certain point, when I was 7 years old, it was upstate New York, in Jazzahaba, upstate New York. And that's when the first time I got molested. So I was being molested from upstate New York into down south in Georgia on the land up in
Okay, I need you to be detailed with me. Okay, when you say molested, remember I have no knowledge of what you're talking about. Okay, I don't see any of your videos. I don't any of that. So when you say molested, if you mean that Doc molested you, I need you to actually say that. Okay, because when you say molested, you can mean anything from my point of view. To other people, it might mean something else. So I need details, okay? Who are you claiming molested you?
Well, I don't claim anybody molested me. What I know is that I've been molested by Malachi York, So there's no claims here. If you want to put, that to me, it just assumed, I'm talking in an assumed kind of manner because we're talking in the aftermath of the result of what happened. And the person that's locked up for doing it is Malachi York. So now I can say the person's name to not confuse people that's listening, and add that there were other women there along the time that he was there, so that they also would be the one molesting me as well. So he wasn't alone in doing so. It was always another woman there, or another woman and another person. So
Understood. I understand. I get it now. Okay, cool. Let me ask you a couple of questions on that first point that you made there, okay? You're saying that he molested you, and from what I understood your statement, and that is why he is locked up now. Is that correct, my understanding?
What I'm saying is why when I was talking, assuming that we know who we're talking about because he's locked up.
I know now.
And,
I definitely know who we're talking about.
Now, because the way you're phrasing your question is because I was molested. Is that the reason that he's locked up? I can answer the question.
No. I'm asking if I'm understanding what you have actually said. Okay, from what I understood that you said is. You said a number of things, but then also you said, and that's why she's locked up right now. Okay, so did I hear you correctly say that, or did I misinterpret or mishear what you have said?
Well, I mean, Malachi York is locked up for breaking the law of molesting children and other things.
Actually, I'm sorry, I have to.
Okay,
In the court records, I'm
answering the question based on what I went through. I was molested as a child. I went to court to testify. In the result of that, I was one of many people that went, other victims that went and testified and told the story. And that contribution was just that contribution. And then in the end of the result, he got convicted for the things that he was charged for. Now, in the case that you're referring to, case.
If you excuse me for a second, what was he convicted for?
Well, you don't know what he's convicted for, or are you asking me to see? I'm
asking a question. What was Dr. York convicted of? What charges was he actually convicted of?
Racketeering, transportation of minors with sexual intent, and other things.
Okay, according to the court records, Dr. York, I agree. According to the court records, Dr. York was convicted of racketeering and the transportation of minors across state lines for purposes of business. Because, as you know from being in Ansar days, We have communities throughout the world, but let's just stick to America. We have communities in every state. We also have stores and other businesses in every state. So if a minor happens to move from, let's say, New York to, let's say, Georgia, and that minor is conducting business in one of those stores, which they do today. You walk into any store, there's a child there. If there's a child there, and you say, can I buy those incense? You say, sure, here you go. And you buy the incense. That's conducting business. That is what the charge was, because he took minors, or as they moved from one spot to another, one state to another, they went from one place to another with children, with the entire community, or those in the community who had to move from point A to point B. That is what one of the charges he was convicted of. The other one, of course, was racketeering. Okay? There is nowhere in the court cases, in the court records, in the actual court records, nowhere in the court records does it say anything about Dr. York being convicted of child molestation. It's just not there.
Okay, so let me ask you, in the court records that you're referring to, and where you're saying that there's no sort of documentation, is this court reference that you're referring to the actual court case that trial that he did?
The actual literal court documents, the court papers themselves. For all those who are listening, any court can obtain the court records, any court records from any case that has ever gone in the United States of America, unless the case has been like behind closed doors or something of that nature, like top secret, X clearance, black clearance. I'm not going to go into any of that.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so what you're saying is correct. Anybody can go and pull up any kind of court record, I'm
not saying pull up. I'm saying that any citizen of the United States of America can request the actual court copies from the actual court, the actual documentation from the courts themselves. Anyone can do this. I happen to have done it. The court records say nothing. The actual court documents that anyone, listen people, anyone who wants to, all you have to do is Google it, how to obtain court documents. Just Google it, and you'll get 1,001 ways to do it, okay? Now, that said, there's nowhere in any of the court documents that says Dr. York was convicted of child molestation. It just doesn't say that. It actually says, pertaining to, one of the things it says pertaining to the child molestation thing, is that one of Dr. York's wives said she had actual videotape of the molestation taking place. Literally, it says it in the court documents. In the court documents, it says that she claimed she had them. They were never presented in the court. The FBI didn't have them. The prosecutor didn't have them. No one had these tapes. The tapes never, ever were presented. So as a person who deals with facts, okay, facts, just the facts, if a person says they have something, especially in a case like this, wouldn't it be logical that the first thing the prosecutors would want, the FBI and all those who wanted to convict, wouldn't they say, we want the videotapes now, present those documented evidence? Nobody requested them. They're nowhere to be found, and the evidence in the court record says Dr. York was convicted of 2 crimes. 1, transportation of minors across state lines for business purposes, and 2, racketeering. So I will end with this, and then I'll hear your reply. Being that, I have to put in one other thing. Most people have seen this video that has been around for at least 8 or 9 years, where the people who supposedly were in that courtroom and claimed that Doc had molested them are on video stating that they were coerced and all these other names. So in other words, those people in that video actually on live video admitted, by proxy, they admitted that they committed perjury on the stand, and Victoria and the legal counsel was doing nothing about that. I wonder why. So, being in the court records, there is no conviction of Dr. York for any type of child molestation or molestation at all. And you, Taariq, claim that you were on the stand and said that he molested you, and that is one of the reasons he was convicted for child molestation. Can you please present some evidence? And your words are not evidence. I can say, my friend down the block hit me with a stick, and now I have a dislocated collarbone. So now I'm going to charge my friend with, or accuse my friend in the court system with physical abuse. Well, the courts want evidence that that has happened. Okay? Only people who go by theory, conjecture, and opinion don't care about evidence. So being in the court records, there's no conviction whatsoever of child molestation.
All right, well, so
can you present some evidence that he actually molested you, not just your statements? Can you give some evidence, please? Thank you.
Well, I'll give you some of the counts of the convictions that he had. So one of the counts of conviction, he had conspiracy to transport minors to interstate commerce for unlawful sexual activities, conspiracy to travel.
Excuse me, on that, I'll read it for you. In that exact same statement that you're reading, okay?
Which I didn't finish.
It does not say for sexual purposes whatsoever.
Well,
you've added
that. I didn't finish it. I'm reading it from right here. Conspiracy to transport minors. Let me read it. Let me read it.
Hold on for a second, just so I can follow you. What page are you on, and what's the? What page are you on, and what's the court? What's the case number?
I can tell you the count is 3SS.
Can you tell me? Since you have it in front of you,
title and section is 18.371. Conspiracy to transport minors in interstate commerce for unlawful sexual activity. Conspiracy to travel in interstate commerce for unlawful sexual activities with minors, and conspiracy to structure cash transactions to evade currency transactions reporting requirements. Another count: transporting minors in interstate commerce for unlawful sexual activity. Another count of the same: traveling in interstate commerce to engage in unlawful sexual activity with a minor.
What page are you on? What page are you on?
I'm on the United States. I'm on the document where it shows you what he was convicted for.
Actual.
Okay. So,
reading from.
Okay, okay. Let me continue to address and respond. Can I respond to?
So I don't interrupt you again. I need to ask.
Well, no. Because I can't.
It's getting kind of foggy.
I need to address what you said. Okay, because were you reading from the actual court documents when you were saying this? Okay, so give me the case file, the number. Excuse me.
So could you tell me what the case record is, please, that you have there? Tell me the case record.
Okay, you're asking me. Let me speak. You're asking me for an answer because I stated something. Correct? You're asking me to answer something because I stated something. So I I'm here because you made statements all along. So I am addressing the statements that you made all along. Yet you want to question me along that, so I can't even go any further. So let me address what you said first, and then you can question when I'm done. You can question what I said. Okay, so now that you're reading from the documents of court, now the person that you said that has a tape, the wife that you said, also you have to realize that when you're dealing with the case for Malachi York, the case for Malachi York that went to trial was a federal case. Okay, it was a federal case. In the federal courts, they don't charge people for child molestation. The state does that. The federal is countrywide.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. The federal government
just heard this guy say that the federal government does not charge people
I'm not
for
finished.
molestation.
I'm not finished speaking, sir. I'm not finished speaking.
Please
okay?
go ahead.
You interrupted me. You're not going to interrupt me. So when I stop
go right
speaking,
ahead.
when I'm finished speaking, you can say, "Look what he said."
Don't get emotional.
Okay,
Don't get
I'm just saying. But you're not letting me finish because you're so eager to make your point. Okay, in the federal system, don't have charges for child molestation. Okay.
Wow.
Now that is dedicated to
so molestation is not a federal
crime.
crime.
Let me finish, sir. Okay, that is going to the state court system. The Mann Act, which deals with child sexual or sexual crimes or sexual abuse or child molestation in a sense. So even though it's not worded as child molestation, the Mann Act it deals with the child molestation aspect of the child that they were doing against York in the count that they was charging him with. So they was charging him with the child molestation in the form of transporting minors with the intent of sexual act, and the actual counts that he will be facing for actually doing each individual count of the child molestation would have been done in the state court system. Okay, but that wasn't done because he already had pled guilty to those charges. Okay, so so now if you could provide the person that you say, the wife that you said have this on video, the molestation on video, and you're trying to bring it up as if where's this video and how come it didn't use as evidence? So now you have a video. You can use the video as evidence as well as you can use the witnesses that was actually there as evidence. Because the witness, the video just for you to see. The witness actually was there to experience it. So the witness has actually more valuable value because they was there to experience it, as opposed to this video that you're talking about. Now, when you
can I respond now?
Yeah.
May I respond? May I respond?
I stopped so that you may respond.
Okay. I'll start with your last statement there. And everyone who's listening to this, I want you to now start using your clinical thinking. Put emotion aside and use your clinical thinking and this thing called common sense. Okay? Taariq, according to what you have stated, your last statement was that a person who is at a scene of whatever, a crime or non-crime, but a person's view of something or explanation of what that person saw has more weight, holds more weight than a videotape that was actually there at the same scene. I want anyone to remember, I don't know how old anyone here is and such, but I'm just going to say something. There's a person called Rodney King. Rodney King was beat by a gang of cops with police billy clubs. They beat this guy like he was nothing. Understand this. He said that it actually happened. He gave all the information, and I'm talking about, he said what happened. He was there. No one believes him. Not one person believes him on the opposition side. Not one person. But guess what? This was in the beginning of cell phones. And this happened to be videotaped by numerous people. And the videotape showed up in the courtroom. And that is the only reason Rodney King was awarded any damages at all. Okay? That's when people from the hood started saying, oh, we got to start videotaping these cops. But nowadays, of course, not. But anyway, my point is, in any courtroom in the United States of America, that is, there is no better evidence than videotape. Because videotape is not emotional. It only shows what it saw. It doesn't forget things. It doesn't have a point of view. It doesn't do anything like that. Videotape shows, sure, it's one of the primary pieces of evidence in a courtroom. If you can have video, and check this out, if video is not good enough, why do they have all these security cameras everywhere? Everywhere you look, there's video cameras. There's security. Excuse me. Let me finish. I'm going to go into your next step, your next statement in a moment. But videotape is a primary source of information in a courtroom. Primary. So, Taariq, your last statement that a human's point of view or a human statement is more valuable than a videotape, that is your particular point of view, and you're entitled to that. But in the court of law, a videotape is one of the most primary pieces of evidence anyone, the defendant or the prosecutor, can present in a courtroom. Thus, you have security cameras everywhere. That's the purpose of those security cameras, is to bring that evidence into court, because the evidence on that video can nullify anything said by anyone or prove anything said by anyone in the courtroom. So your last statement is your personal statement, but in the courtroom, it doesn't hold water. And being that this is a case that went into the courtroom, anyone in the world in a courtroom wants a videotape. It's just a fact of life. Everyone who's listening to this, ask any lawyer you know. Any lawyer that you know, even if you don't know one, when you pass a lawyer's office, say, if I have videotape or if there's a person who saw something, which one would you want me to bring into the courtroom? The lawyer will say both, the video and the human being. Why? Because the video will back up what the human being is saying. Not the human being will back up what the video shows, but the video will back up what the human being is saying. Your other statement, Taariq, that the federal, the FBI, the federal part of the United States government does not deal with child molestation or molestation. Child molestation and molestation are federal offenses. Being that they're federal offenses, it is a federal government that deals with that, who deals with that. Now, a state can how can I say this? A court case can be, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll find the exact legal word in my head in a moment. But in the courtroom, okay, the state could be, let's say, for lack of a better word right now, controlling the case or overseeing the case, because it can be a case that's going on in the state, or a matter of fact, Eatonton, Georgia. But the charges can still be brought by the federal government. But the case is still taking place, being controlled, not controlled, but being, for lack of a better word, you'll know what I mean. The case can be taking place in a state, and the state has jurisdiction over that. That's the word I'm looking for. Jurisdiction over the case. But the evidence that the case is presented in the case can be coming from the federal government and many different sources. Being that child molestation, and not only child molestation, but all types of molestation are federal offenses. They are also state offenses. but they are federal offenses. They go under the federal, like the RICO Act. Okay, they are federal offenses. Those crimes are prosecuted or brought up by the federal government. Okay, so to state that the federal government does not charge for molestation, if you were in the courtroom and you were dealing with this molestation thing, you would know that the federal government would be dealing with it. Why? Because there would be federal agents of the federal government who are questioning you. Now, if you look on the videotapes that they have out there of all of this, these are federal people who are questioning. If you look in the newspapers in Eaton, Georgia, of that month that the case is going down, it says the federal government. These are federal crimes which you are claiming that the federal government wasn't interested in, didn't bring the charges up. That doesn't work in the real legal system. That works in your legal system, but it doesn't work in the real factual legal system. And I didn't state this in the beginning. Everyone who's ever heard me speak on any of my brother's channels, I missed out by saying this part. Don't believe me. Check it for yourself. Check the information for yourself. I do not want you to believe me. I want you to check it. Okay. So here, just by these three statements alone, I mean, those two, and there's a third one I'm going to leave for later. But just by these two statements alone, one, the video, a human being is better evidence than a video. In a courtroom, in the legal system, it doesn't hold water. It's just not a fact. It is not, your statement is not supported by factual information. Excuse me, your information is not supported by factual evidence on that point. Also, being that the federal government does not charge for molestation, whether it be molestation of an adult or a minor, is false. That statement is not supported by the provable evidence. Everyone who's in earshot of this, don't believe me. Check it for yourself. Google it right now. Is child molestation a federal offense? Google it right now. Right now. Also, excuse me. I'll let you speak, and I'll be finished in a minute. I'll be finished with this statement. This part in just 1 second. Also, Google, in a courtroom, which one is more admissible evidence? Which one is a stronger piece of evidence? A videotape or verbal testimony? Google it right now. Google those things right now. Now, the reason I'm pointing these things out is this. For someone who says they have claimed they have gone through that system and sat in the courtroom and such and so forth, right? That means they would, if you people out there, if you went through that and you were in that court system, meaning you had gone and been questioned or interrogated, whatever word you want to use, beforehand, your testimony has been taken down, recorded, all of that. Why? Because they need records to give to the judge, the prosecutor, the defense, and everything. All of these people need the courts to knock. All of these people need records before the case even begins. Okay, this is the legal system we're talking about here. Okay, so if you were in that position that Taariq claims he was in, if you were in that position, would not federal officers have questioned you? Yes, they would have. Why wouldn't you know they were federal officers? Why would you assume they were state officers only? You couldn't. Here's why. Because when you're being prosecuted or when you're being interrogated, let's say you've just been brought in for a minor crime and they're questioning you. The first thing the officer, a law enforcement personnel does, because it's part of the rules of the legal system, if they don't do what I'm about to say, it's grounds for dismissal of the case. Okay? They come in and they say, I am Officer so-and-so. If it's a federal, if it's a Fed, The feds come, I am federal agent, such and so. We all know this. This is common. Okay, and if you don't know it, Google it. Yeah, see, this is the problem. We got computers nowadays. We can check anything anyone says. That's why I don't want you to believe me. I want you to check it for yourself. I'm done with this part. Go ahead, Taariq.
Yeah, so, basically, like, I feel like we're running around in circles.
I need you to present. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Give me the case record. Give me the case record you have. Oh, you won't give me the case records because you don't have the case records because you're lying. You're lying. The case number? You're not lying.
Wait a minute.
Hold number.
Yo, hold up, son. Yo, please. Yo,
hold up 1 minute. Hold up. Yo, hold up 1 minute.
The case number 502 CR 0027 CAR. That's the sentencing case number. Okay, you can go and get an account on page.
And where did you obtain them from?
Look it up.
And where did you obtain them from? Where did you obtain them
from? This is no. Let me respond to what you're saying. Okay, I see the taxes you're doing.
Please do.
Let me finish. Let me talk because right now your taxes you're saying a whole lot of stuff. I start speaking. You start interjecting me. You're doing it now, okay? You're doing it now. You start interjecting me, and then you ask me questions that you want me to respond to that stops me from responding to what you were
diverting. You're diverting.
You're doing it again. You're doing it again, okay? Just stop it. I'll respectfully let you talk, and now you can respectfully do the same. If not, then we can interrupt each other. Okay, but so far we've been letting each other speak, okay? So I feel like we're running around in circles because you brought up that there was a tape.
You're ready to respond.
You brought up that there was a tape that one of his wives had, and that the tape wasn't brought up. And then this is a double negative. You can explain that when you have your chance. Okay. She claims she has a tape, and you're bringing it up as how come this tape wasn't brought up in court. And then I made a statement in regards to that. So now your statement has no value. It's like, what was the point of you saying that?
Why wasn't it presented?
Let me finish. I'm making a statement. I'm not asking you a question. If you can voluntarily, mute your.
I apologize. Why?
Just stop. No. I don't want to go off. Stop. I do not. No. I want to finish my statement. Okay. You can say all that when you have your chance. Right now, all the properness could be out the window right now because you're showing that you can't have this kind of dialogue. Okay, and so I've been responding to the first kind of segment that you made, and you're asking all these questions.
Complaining about responding.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you take what I'm saying as a statement of response. I sat back and listened to you and what you have to say. So you can give me the same kind of courtesy. And if not, then we can handle that a different kind of way. If you want to keep interrupting and stuff like that. Now, why I feel like we keep running around in circles, because you're mentioning things and saying things that's irrelevant to the point of this whole discussion. Okay? The point of this whole discussion is if you're trying to find out the truth behind the case and what really is going on and was children being molested and stuff like that. You brought up that one of your wives allegedly had a videotape of the molestation happening. So because nothing manifested with that, I didn't see the reason you brought it up. So I said, well, if there was no tape, there's no reason to respond to that because nothing was done with it. So what was the whole point of that? So now I made a statement about a living victim and versus a tape, and then when I was done, you want to go on and expand about that. See, now these are 3 segments of just running around in circles. So let's not use our time in our conversation to run around in circles and try to ask me is it a federal in this case and that case, and try to use my words against me and things like that. Now with the federal case, they don't have statutes for necessarily for child molestation statutes. Okay, but that's all thrown in. That's why in his case it was thrown in the RICO and the Mann Act.
Okay.
It's not like yes, yeah, because you're breathing hard. You're doing all this sighing and stuff, and you know.
Just go ahead and talk. We hear you.
I mean, I can have my reactions. You can have your reactions. Is that not fair?
Okay,
I'm listening to what you're
it
saying.
sounds like you have something important to say. So if you need to say something, then you need to say something.
Just go ahead.
I'm not trying to go around in circles.
Taariq, just go ahead and talk. We hear you.
We're not going to do this whole respond thing. Like, what is the actual issue? What is the actual point? What's the reason for doing it? Like, do you want to find out if children do you want to find out if children were being molested in the community, or do you want to find out if the federal case dealt with child molestation? Like, what are you here to find out?
What I'm here to do is to see if what your claim is factual or not. That is what I'm here to do, to find out if your claim is factual or not, according to the evidence, not according to your statements. According to the
evidence. What evidence do you have that would question my claim?
Because I'm listening, like I said in the beginning, I'm hearing what you said. I'm listening to what you said, to your claims and your statements. I'm listening to those. And they're like any logical human being would do. I'm weighing your statements to see if they can be supported by factual information. By provable evidence. So when you make certain statements, I have to revert to evidence, to provable evidence, to see if your statements can even remotely be factual or not. The statement you have made pertaining to the videotape, that the human being's point of view or statements in a courtroom are more valid than a video, that doesn't hold water according to the normal procedures of any court proceedings. Your statement that child molestation or molestation, whether it be for a minor or an adult, is not a federally charged offense, does not hold water. It just doesn't.
Okay,
so I have to look at those. So I have to look at those statements that you make, or anyone for that matter. I have to look at the statements, then weigh that against the evidence, the actual factual evidence. Not something, not my point of view, not my opinion. I'm just looking at the evidence to see if the evidence says the statement could possibly be true or the statement could possibly be untrue. The evidence is proving that those statements, it's not my opinion that they are true or not. The evidence proves that those statements cannot be sound, cannot be factual. Being that that is the case.
What is the evidence? What is the evidence you refer to?
Because of the, I'm not going to reiterate it, but I'll say it one more time. You made two statements, and everybody who's heard this is recording it and everything. Run the tapes back, run the video back, okay? You made those statements about the federal government not charging people with, the federal government doesn't charge people for molestation. Well, that's false.
No, what I'm saying, there's no statute for child molestation. And
there is a statute for child molestation. There's a federal statute and a state statute. There's a federal and local statute for all crimes on the damn books.
The federal government. Come on, man. Okay, because it has a point. I don't get your point.
Okay.
What is the actual point?
Here's another. Excuse me.
I was responding to the statement that you said.
Another statement you have just said, and everyone can hear this. You just said there's no statute. There's no federal statute for it. There are numerous federal statutes for I'm sorry, I apologize, for molestation, whether it be for child or it be for an adult. There are numerous federal statutes for that. So if you had actually gone into the legal system, okay, and dealt with, as a person who was molested, you would know that there are numerous statutes for that, okay, federal statutes. You would know that the federal government would be physically involved. Federal agents would have come to you and spoken with you. You would know that. You would have to know that because they would have to have identified themselves as federal agents. It's the law. For you to say those statements that you have made, just those three in itself.
Can you cite a case where there was a conviction for child molestation in a federal case?
There are numerous cases, man. Where have you been in this planet? The federal government has charged people for at least Jeffrey Dahmer. Check it, people. Got computers. Check it out. Jeffrey Dahmer. That's just a name that just popped at the top of my head. Jeffrey Dahmer. He was charged by the federal government for molestation plus other crimes. By the federal government. The court case took place locally in a particular state, but the charge was brought forth by the federal government. Check it out, people. Or you can also do this, people. Simple thing to do. Google how many cases do it like this. Has the federal government ever charged people with molestation? Do it right now. Google it. Right now. And you will see there are hundreds of cases for the federal government charging people with molestation, not just for minors, but for adults. That's what one of the things. It's a federal offense. It's a federal offense. It's not an offense it's not just a state offense. A state offense is something that just a particular state says is offensive here. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. In New York City, there's a law that is still on the books. It's not enforced, but it's a law still on the books today in New York City. You cannot bowl on Sunday. That's an old law, way back in the day. Okay, but that's just a state law. Why is there no federal law for it? Excuse me, you said to be, you're a person at a time. The reason there's no federal law for bowling on Sunday is because the federal government is not concerned something that can happen per state. But like that's the incorrect way to say it. The federal government is not concerned with you bowling on Sunday. Okay? But the federal government is concerned with a person who's, let's say, in New York and they molest somebody. And then they move to New Jersey or to Colorado. And they now cannot be charged in New York for molestation. Yes, you can, because the federal government covers the entire country. That's why they have federal and state laws. That's why one of the federal laws is molestation. Come on, everybody out there, check it. Get on your computers. I know you got your cell phones. Those are computers. So if you're listening to this on your laptop, get out your cell phone and Google those things I said. If you're on your cell phone, get on your laptop or get your friend's cell phone and have your friend do it. Have your friend Google it. It's molestation a federal offense. How many times has the federal government charged people with molestation? Pull them up. Is video more important? Is more taken as a more solid piece of evidence in a courtroom than a person's testimony? Check it up.
I mean, your statement is just helping what my experience is. Like, what you're saying is that.
Of course, you would think that.
Okay, so I really. So, but what's the point?
You did not like it. You did not like me to interrupt.
But you continue to. Okay, and I'm still showing.
I have no problem. So here's what my point is. The statements you have made about what happens in the courtroom, whether this is a videotape or the federal government doesn't charge with this and that and that, if you had been molested and actually showed up in the courtroom, okay, as a plaintiff for the prosecution, you would know that the federal government deals with molestation. You would know that the videotape is a primary source of information, okay, of evidence in a courtroom. Primary. It is, God, you got video? Come on, give me the video. Okay, please. The things you are stating are proving, the things you are stating are not being held up by the court system rules themselves. And being that you claim that you were dealing with the court system about these particular matters, it's the evidence is proving, no, you're just another person who wants some fame or some for whatever your own personal reasons are. You're making statements and claims that cannot be supported by provable evidence. It just can't be supported. If it was supported, right, child molestation, as you say, why is it not in the court in the court records? Why do you not know things that happen to a person who has been molested? Why do you not know the procedures that happen to such a person? That the federal government is involved, that the federal government does come in, okay? That actual federal agents come in, that they actually say, if you got a video, goddamn, man, please bring that video. Present the video.
What's this video you're talking about? Where's this video at? Like, where's this video in court documents?
Correct. That is my question. That is exactly my question. I was trying to let you know on it. Since you want to,
all right.
Let me respond. Can I respond to you? You asked me a question. Please let me respond. You asked me, so where's the video? Please let me respond to the question. So where's the video? Being that one of Doc's wives is the one who said she had a video, my question also is, so where's the video? The FBI didn't obtain the video. No one obtained the video. It was not presented in the courtroom or any place else for that matter. Your question, where's the video? I haven't finished my answer. Can I please complete my answer to your question? Where is the video? So being that the video never showed up, her claim, and being that she claimed that she had it, it's a primary piece of evidence. A primary piece of evidence. No one had the evidence. No one had the video. So that means then, if the FBI didn't ask for the video, the local police didn't ask for the video, the prosecutor didn't ask for the video, the judge didn't ask for the video. No one asked for the video. No one. It never showed up. No video. That means the only one who says there was a video was her. That means, being that it never presented itself, the evidence showed she lied. Because if such a excuse me,
who is she? What's her name? No, because you keep going on and on, but you're not letting me give me a chance to come in. All right. Now,
yes,
you brought up, okay. You brought up the video. Okay.
Excuse me. Everyone who's hearing me out there, within 24 hours, I will have her name, exactly her name. Within 24 hours, I will have her name and the exact statement she made. Anyone can find the same thing I'm going to re-pull up. You can find it by pulling up the Eatonton, excuse me, hold on. By pulling up the Eatonton, Georgia newspaper. The one where Doc, excuse me.
You said it's in court documents.
Excuse me, it is in court documents. It is in the court documents. But also, I'm giving people, like I told people, if they want to pull up any court documents, all they have to do is, there's a number of ways to do it. And like I said to you all people, if you want to pull up any court documents in the world, in the United States of America, any court records whatsoever, and you don't know how to do it, this is this thing now. It's a new thing now. It's called this internet. We got the www. It's called the World Wide Web. All you have to do is Google, how do I pull up court records in the United States of America? And you're going to get 1,001 answers. And then you follow the steps and you pull them up. But in the Eatonton, Georgia newspaper, on the cover of that newspaper, you have Doc standing outside the courtroom with both his hands up, okay, and he's smiling. In that issue is where I first saw the statement about his wife having the claiming to have some video. So what did I do? Of course, I don't believe nothing. And I don't. Come on now, I'm a Nuwapian. I don't believe you can't tell me something. I just believe it. Okay. So I did some searching and researching on it. And I found out how to pull up court records and all that, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, my point is, the video never showed up. There was no video. She said it was. If it was, and such a valuable piece of information, so not just information, but evidence. There could be no denying from that point on. It's on video. Boom. Any jury says you are convicted or you are free. That is it. It's a videotape. They ain't going with nothing that's yada, 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 all these excuses that my man ain't wants to give. Courts don't do that. Juries ain't down like that. Okay? You understand this, people? So just pull it up. She never had the videotape, and now he wants to know who the name is. Good question. I'll give you the name, like I said, people, within 24 hours. You'll have her name. I guarantee it. Okay? So, my point, also, you can all pull it up also, but within 24 hours, I have her name, guaranteed. But you can all pull it up before 24 hours. Okay? And you'll have her name and all of that jazz. And you can probably have the court record. Within 4 or 5 hours of doing some searching and research, you should have the court records in your own computer and your own cell phone. Yourselves. Don't have these people running around talking all this yada, 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 and nobody putting their statements to the test. You know what there's a saying. The lie resembles
I gotta be able to be
a lie resembles
at some point.
Sure, you will be when I'm done. A lie resembles the truth if you do not question and investigate it. A lie resembles the truth unless you question and investigate it. All these other yada, 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 I'm not down with. The evidence this guy has presented, the information this person,
I haven't presented no evidence yet.
You make the statements you have said.
No. Okay. You gotta let me respond.
Do not hold water. They don't hold water when it comes to the legal system. They only hold water to people who will not question you about things, who will allow you to skirmish away from questions and double talk and double speak. No. I'm not the person. I am a real Nuwapian. I'm not a Nuwapian. I'm a Nuwapian. I'm a real Nuwapian.
And I see that you're using Nuwapian tactics.
Just like I have to, and anybody.
You're not allowing me to respond. You're not even allowing me to respond. You keep going on and on, and you're finished now. Because you keep going on and on.
Don't believe me. So that stands for Taariq and me. Don't believe Taariq. Check it for yourself. Don't believe me. Check it for yourself. Taariq's problem is I don't believe him. And right. First, I came in just with nothing but, and was trying to find out, maybe this guy has a point. Maybe this is the one person out there who has some evidence, not just some statements, but some evidence to actually back up what he's stating. This guy has no evidence. The statements he have made, I've given you all a way to find out if what his statements have, what the statements he have made here tonight or this morning, or this afternoon, I did that with your claim that the federal state, that the federal government does not charge a molest. Listen to me, man, and repeat. Wow.
No, because I'm trying to answer that.
The federal government does not charge for molestation. That is one of your statements. That statement is false. The videotape is not a personal testimony is more valuable than means more than a videotape. Not in the courtroom. Not in the courtroom.
Yes, it is.
Check it out.
Check it out. Every situation is not going to have a video.
How come and a or something. They say, get the video. Do you have the video? The first thing the cop come to a crime scene is what do they want? They want the videotape from the store, don't they, people? They go into a bank and rob a bank. You don't know what you're talking about. They want the videotape, don't they? That's a valuable piece of evidence. If a car crash happens in the street, a car crash happens in the street, they say it's their videotape. If you want a red light, what do they say? Where's the videotape? Okay. That's right. In the courtroom, the videotape matters. Are you finished? Are you finished? Now present some evidence. I don't care about the statement. And I will present evidence if you can shut your mouth. You can shut your mouth because right now, when you start right now what? Right now what? When you start you said right now what? Right now, you can understand what I'm saying if you listen, because you can't. I want you to present evidence. I understand that you're lying. The evidence that you presented so far, the information that you presented so far, is a lie. No. It's a lie. It doesn't hold water. To anyone who's done the research, they know it doesn't hold water. Suck him right now. I want you to pull up. There's a federal government charge for molestation. Pull it up right now. Hold on, no. You scared as hell. Listen to you. You can hear it in your voice. You have to pull it up right now. Okay, cool. I hear you, bro. Do it. Thank you. Yeah, you hate it. You're gonna talk, but you don't want to listen. You're not. What evidence have you presented? What evidence have you presented? Your statements are false. Your statements are false. Your statements are false. And being that if you actually were dealing with those kind of, with that situation, you claim that you were brought into the police station and gone through the process of being on the witness stand. All that process that has to go down before a person can be on the witness stand. For that to go down, you would have to have been questioned by federal agents, and you would know that molestation is a federal offense. But you don't know that. You claim that they're not. You would know that they would want a videotape. It's a primary piece of evidence in the courtroom. But you claim not to know that. You claim that it's not a primary piece of evidence, that a human being's testimony is more valuable in a courtroom than videotape. That's a falsehood. So that proves, that piece of evidence clearly starts, what did that man say? That not one scintilla of with those statements that you have made can be backed up by evidence, by the provable facts. Your problem is that you happen to, my brother happened to put a Nuwapian on the phone, a real Nuwapian, who doesn't go for I believe, I think. No. I came into this with a completely one way. I didn't care. Well, I did care, but I had no judgment. I stated to you, I don't know nothing about you, man. Nothing. Except you're making this statement. I know nothing about you, nothing else about you. I tell you, I'm not into the Facebook, none of that. I don't do it. Anybody who knows me, I don't do it. That I made. My first statement when I came on the phone, you asked me about what my story. So I told you I was molested at 7 years old. I told you that through my, up until I left. So basically, I told you I was molested by Malachi York. That was the initial statement that I made. Okay?
Excuse me. Taariq, excuse me. I just seen a question in the chat room, and Kingdom L asked to ask you, how many times did Dr. York have intercourse with you?
I'll answer that question, but first I want to set a little premise right now, because what's going on right now. Can I speak, sir? Can I speak, sir? Can I speak? Okay. Can I speak? I wouldn't take as long as you took. Okay. Okay. What you're doing right now is you're trying to use a tactic. I'm trying to throw me off guard. Okay, but you're not. You're not doing that in a way.
You've been caught in a lie, so you're gonna call it anything you want to. Anybody with an open mind would see that all I'm doing is investigating.
Everybody will see. You're not allowing me to answer. You're not allowing me to respond to you. What you're doing is you're talking. You're continuing to talk. When I make a response, you interject. You cut me off. You ask me more questions, and nothing gets answered. Nothing gets answered. Nothing gets resolved. Now, to answer the question that the brothers asked me online, how many times have I been molested?
How many times have Dr. York had intercourse with you?
A lot. Like, you want a number?
I guess he's looking for a number.
You want me to say 37, 52, 26?
I don't know. Let me see.
It was more than 20 and under 50. Like, what kind of...
More than 20 and under 50. There you go.
Yeah, like, what
more than 20 and under 50.
Yeah, but like... Okay, Taalib. Okay, which community Taalib? What community are you from? What community are you from? Are you from the Ansar days? Are you from where are you from?
Okay, let me.
Where are you from?
Can I answer your question?
Where are you
the
from?
Community I'm from. The question that the community I'm from is Nuwapian community. Originally, is what you want to know. I was in, how can I put this? Because I don't want to give away exactly who I am. But I've been in Ansar. Okay? I was from the days of Ansar. All the way up until today. You got it. Back in the day when we were wearing the white and had to learn the Quran, the Torah, and the King James Bible, dang near by heart. Where we had to learn Arabic.
Did you live in upstate New York?
Hebrew. Excuse me?
Did you live in upstate New York?
I'm not going to give you any information that's going to let you know who I am.
Okay, did you live on the land in Georgia?
I guess that's same answer.
All right, so like what? So you can't answer questions, but you expect me to answer?
No, I can. I can answer any question that I can to, just like you can answer any question that you can to. I am not going to answer questions. Excuse me. I am not going to answer questions to give information as to my identity. But I will answer questions like, what do you want to know about? What do you want to know about where? Ask me questions about what you want to know about where.
I want to know if you lived on the land. By saying yes or no, it's not going to give out who you are.
Okay, so let's say I said yes.
Okay, so then you would know me.
And then what if I said no?
Not necessarily.
Then you wasn't there.
Wait, again. And then what if I said no?
Then you wasn't there and you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so if I said yes, then I would know you. According to your statement, then I would know you. And if I said no, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't have been there, so I wouldn't have known I wouldn't know what I was talking about. Okay, so let's take both of those statements one by one. Okay, so if I was there, and that would mean, according to what I'm understanding your statement is, now I might be misunderstanding it, then I would know that you were molested? Is that what you're claiming?
If you were there, then you would know me, because earlier you stated when you came on the line, you said that you didn't know me.
Okay, so if I was on the land, and if I knew you, or know you, what difference would that make about your molestation?
I mean, to me, it's like, well, what, like, you are basically, is Malachi York guilty of, is Malachi York innocent or guilty of child molestation in your eyes?
According to
in your eyes.
Excuse me. here we go again. Now, first, let me backtrack. I'm going to answer that question. Okay, guaranteed I'm going to answer that question. If I was on the land, or if I wasn't on the land, if I know you, or if I don't know you, what bearing does that have on whether or not your statement that Dr. York molested you is factual or not? What bearing does that have on that statement, whether I know you or not?
And my answer to that was, do you, in your eyes, is he, and the reason I'm asking for that is to answer your question, but I need the answer, is in your eyes, is he innocent or guilty? In order to answer your question.
I apologize. My mistake. My apologies. I was in the school that I went to, I mean, in normal everyday, like, public school and, high school and, college and things like that. Usually, the thing is, when a question is asked, you answer the question and then ask a question if you care to, but you do not answer a question with a question, because answering a question with a question is not answering the question. It's actually a form of diversion.
Okay,
so let me rephrase whether I know you or not, what bearing does that have on your claim that Dr. York molested you?
In order to answer that question, I need the answer of the question I asked you to proceed with the answer that you just asked me. Now, my question is...
So, excuse me, so when I answer this question, you will then answer the question I have just presented.
All the divergent stuff you're saying, you're doing it right now. If you can just answer the question, then I can answer your question.
Okay, I heard that. Yes. Okay, so what is your question?
I asked you, is Malachi York guilty for molesting children, or is he guilty or innocent of molesting children in your eyes?
Okay, like I said in the beginning of this, okay, I am a Nuwapian. I do not go with theory, conjecture, opinion, hypothesis, rumor, or anything. I do not have a belief. I do not have any of that. Nuwapians don't do that. Nuwapians are scientists. But Nuwapians, this new thing that since Doc got locked up and all of this, this thing that has now become a religion. I am not a part of this new fangled Nuwapian, the N-E-W Wapian. I'm not part of that religion, that part of that, whatever they want to call it.
Can you answer the question, though? That has nothing to do with the question.
Yes, it does. I go by evidence. If the evidence, and I don't care if you believe me or not, but if the evidence,
asking you,
I'm going to see, you want me to answer your question. You want me to, excuse me.
Because I mean, like, I don't really understand it. It's like,
you asked the question to get a specific response. I'm getting
like you're doing the same thing you're doing. But you're doing the same thing. You're using the Nuwapian tactic.
So as I was saying, people, okay, I'm going to bypass him and I'm going to talk directly to the people. And Taariq, you can speak on.
Well, you can do that on your own. I don't have to be here for you to talk to the people. You can do that.
Man, you can hang up or stay on. I don't really care. You've already proven.
All right, well then you don't really care. You don't care about getting to the bottom of the information and to the bottom of the truth.
So again, what bearing does me knowing you or not knowing you have on your claim that Doc supposedly molested?
Well, dude, I mean, like, people are listening to you. You're not saying who you are.
Yes,
you don't want people to know who you are. You're not giving a lot of information about yourself. So how is anybody supposed to know what you're saying?
What bearing does that have on what the subject is? How do
you factor into the
I'm asking him, what bearing does that have on whether his statement is true or not? And he is not even dealing with that whatsoever, as you people have probably already done. Okay, you've already checked out the statements that he's made, and you've done the searching and the researching online about the federal government. Now, let me ask you people, if he was telling the truth, is it not logical that he would know that molestation is a federal offense? What did he do as a try to back up as he panicked? What did he mentally do? Let me rephrase this. He mentally panicked, okay? And how do you know that he mentally panicked? Because he blurted out, eventually he spurted this out, that there's no cases where the federal government has charged anyone with molestation.
I didn't think
Well,
that.
people, okay, all right, people, rewind it to videotapes, people. You'll know.
No, I didn't say that.
So,
no, don't
I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm done with you. So, people.
All right, so this should be the end of the conversation then.
And
if you're done, then you can go.
Tied himself
we don't have to have this conversation.
He's tied himself in knots. His statements are false. If he had been in the courtroom as a witness, as he claims, he would have to go through all these procedures to be a witness in a courtroom. You just don't come up and say, hey, this A, B, C, and D, I saw this, or this happened to me, or whatever, and they say, good, get on the witness stand. There's a whole long process they go through to find out if the person they're going to put on that witness stand is credible or not. Okay, there's a whole process to go with that. All right, and I went through the process, and I was put on a witness stand. People, when you pull up these court records, people, I want you to find. You're not providing no evidence. You're not providing no truth. Please do not. You're not making any kind of nonsense that he's been speaking. And I don't even know the majority of the nonsense he's been speaking. But the basis of what he's saying here is all, it can't be a fact. It's impossible. If anyone out there can present some evidence to support what he has claimed, evidence, statements are not evidence. Okay, if anyone out there can present some evidence that supports anything that Taariq has said, please present it. Please present it. Please, I'm asking you to present it. The evidence, the courtroom, even the legal system, the federal government, the people who wanted him locked up and locked him up, didn't even convict him of child molestation or any other kind of molestation. It's just not in the court records. All of that stuff is coming from these fake Nuwapians and these lying haters who just, notice this, people. Notice, before Doc was locked up, all these people who all of a sudden got all this shit to say about, all this stuff to say about Doc. Where was they for all those years when he wasn't locked up? Where were they? Where were you? Where were you at? Were they just gone? When he got arrested and locked up, those people who talked garbage about him and said all this stuff about him, and Doc didn't know this, and Doc didn't know that, and Doc said this, and Doc said that. I understand how they're saying that, because the day he got arrested and the day he was put in prison is the day they were all born. I understand now. None of those people were born 18, 17, 20, 30 years before Doc got locked up. None of them. None of those people who are talking all this garbage, putting all these videos out, standing on the street corners, claiming all these claims, none of these people, not one of them, was alive before Doc got locked up. None of them was alive when the Ansar Law community was around. None of them were alive when Doc was doing the Ansar Law in New Islamic Hebrews. Any of that. None of it. None of those people who are talking all this garbage and smack today were around then.
So what did anything
but if they were, and they're talking all this garbage now that he's locked down, check this out. You know what this is called on the street? You know what people who do that is called on the street? I'm going to be straight with you. People who do that talk shit when somebody got locked up, and all of a sudden they're talking shit, right? where the person can't defend themselves. They are bitch asses, all of them. They're all bitch asses. That's what it's called in the street. You're all bitch asses, all of you, every single one of you. Yeah, because you wasn't talking no shit when Doc wasn't locked up. None of you, not one. All of a sudden, like this blow on the phone, like this little blow on the phone. How come it took some federal agents to come in and set them up? Now check out the process. Check out. Now, I'm not bringing out the facts. Now check this out. If you know the case, if you know the situation, the federal government came onto the land. The federal government came onto the land and checked the land. Right? They came in first to find building violations. Okay, the federal government came in with the sheriff to find building violation. Did they find any? Not one. Not one building violation. Everything was good, above code, and all of that. Where was this little boy on this phone? Right now, why come he didn't go to none of them federal agents and say I was because you were born in a man's body. Men don't do that shit. So my point people is this. So why come he didn't say nothing to any of them people? How come all of a sudden after the cops came and how come after they came with the 4x4s and all the military personnel and bulldogs the land, then all of a sudden he mans up and can say something. Yeah, all of a sudden, when he got molested between 30 and 50 times. So it took between 30 and 50 times. Wasn't good enough for him to speak up. No, what would make it good enough for him to speak up was like the feds, the federal government came with their military and charged Doc with molestation. Then all of a sudden, he got the balls like a man to stand up and say something about what happened, that he was molested between 30 and 50 times. Let me ask all of you people out there, if you got molested between 30 and 50 times, would you not tell somebody? Would you not tell somebody? And let me ask you this. If it's 30 and 50, I don't need to hear your mouth no more. And between 30, you're going to make some excuse. Like you just told somebody and knows that. Yeah, right.
I'm leaving then, so goodbye.
I'll leave it at you. I do. So as I was about to say, so here's, like I said, the process was the cops came and the federal government came before they brought the military. They had the federal government, the feds and the local police and the sheriff come to the land as an excuse. They wanted to check for building code violations. They found no building code violations. So a person was being molested 30 to 50 times. Now remember, between the time they came to see the building violations and the time that they came back for Doc was less than a year. So that means between 30 and 50 times, according to what he claims, from the time he was from 7 years old, he was molested 30 to 50 times and told no one. He became an adult, a 20-year-old person, and told nobody that some man was running up in him. Come on, people. Who would do that? Somebody, unless you're mentally ill, I'll say a reason. A person who's mentally ill, mentally unstable, okay, I can see that person, that type of person, not saying anything to anyone. Okay, sure. A person who is like physically abused and things like that, I can see that, but not for no 30 to 50 times, and not for no damn 20 years. Okay, there's signs of molestation. Come on, please. Anyway, my point is, at the same time all of this is going down, you have people who are not part of the community, by the hundreds, coming to the Ansar Allah community. Now check this out. Back in the Ansar days, okay, your family was allowed to come and see you. For all those people who say you couldn't see your family and all that was bullshit. That's a lie. Your family can come and see you anytime. You can leave and go as you felt like it. There was no bars on the window. There was none of that garbage. None of it. Okay? You could come and go as you felt like it. Understand this. Okay? Yes. So, you're being molested 30 to 50 times. You can leave the grounds by yourself. You can go anywhere you want to by yourself. You can go to another goddamn country if you want to by yourself. And you don't, but you're being molested 30 to 50 times. And you're a grown adult who's not mentally ill, not physically or mentally handicapped, none of that. And you're being molested 30 to 50 times. And you're an adult. Come on, people, think. Now, here's the other side of that coin. This person, or Taariq, I don't know if he's there or not, and I really don't care.
He left.
But Taariq is the type of person that has this in his mentality, okay? He has said something. You know how the old saying, if you say something enough, if you repeat a lie enough, it's a statement of Machiavelli, okay? I'm not going to go into who Machiavelli was, but Machiavelli, how do you get your citizens to believe a lie? You just keep telling them enough. You just keep telling the same lie over and over and over. Then Machiavelli went into why these people believe this lie is the truth. Here's what he said. Because they will not check the information. They won't check it for themselves. They will not check it for themselves. It sounds good to them. It sounds reasonable to them. So they believe it. You know, when you're a child, didn't Santa Claus, that shit sounded reasonable to you too. Yeah, it sure did. And you believe Santa Claus is real. I was a child too, and I believed Santa Claus was real too. Is Santa Claus real? No. How do you know Santa Claus is not real? Because investigation, the evidence proves that Santa Claus is not real. That's what proves it. The evidence. It wasn't because somebody told you or nothing like that. The evidence proved it. It wasn't no word of mouth. You know what that word of mouth and somebody told you got you to do? It got you to, and me too, it got you to believe it. That's why Nuwapians don't believe anything. If you run across a Nuwapian and says, I believe this, I believe, well, you can't be a Nuwapian. You got to be this Nuwapian, N-E-W, not N-U. That's the kind of Nuwapian, the Nuwapian who turned Nuwapian as a religion. My point is this. This guy has been, he's lying. He's lying. All he wanted to do was rant and rave about and give, repeat what he was saying before. That Doc did this and Doc did that and Doc did this and Doc did this. Okay, if Doc did that and Doc did this, like I asked him, prove it. I need some evidence. Your statement is one thing, but I need evidence to back up your statements. Okay, during his, he didn't present any evidence, but he made a lot of statements. Remember what are the statements? The federal government does not have a charge for molestation. Well, if you've done the searching and the researching on your computers and in your cell phones, which is a computer, you'll find out that's false. If you've done the searching and the researching on the thing he said about the video, you'll find out he didn't know what he was talking about that either. It's all these statements you're making, there's nothing to back it up. In the court records themselves, it doesn't say anything about Doc being, what's the word I'm looking for? Convicted of child molestation. Now, for those of you out there who say, well, yeah, he was charged with child molestation. I agree. See, that's what Taariq should have said. But he's just so wound up in his own little lie, he doesn't look at what the evidence out there is saying. Okay, what the factual information, that is the information is supported by provable evidence. Hold on. Excuse me. Yes, the court documents do say, the court records do say he was, one of the counts was child molestation. Definitely does say that. Was he convicted for any of the counts of child molestation? No. just so people who know this. Now, it seems like when it comes to Doc, nobody out there, or very few people out there, have ever had anybody in their family or they themselves have never been arrested and dealt with the court system in their lives. None of y'all, you know, have come from the hood and have brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and fathers and dads and, you know, moms and blah, 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 that have ever been that are in prison right now. No, not one of you. Not one of you. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is this. When you get arrested for a crime, how can I put this? A serious crime where the feds come and kick in your door and shit like this, okay? And y'all don't have no drug dealing parents and brothers and sisters, right? Yeah, y'all don't have, your doors ain't never been kicked in, right? No, you don't know nobody's doors who've been kicked in, right? No, you don't know nothing like that. Oh, of course not. So my point is this. When you're dealing with offenses like that, for those of you who have dealt with those kind of things, what's the first thing what do they charge you with? Everything they can, everything they can think of. It's called throwing the book at you. They throw everything at you. They throw the entire book at you. Why? To see what sticks. All of the charges they throw at you, they know that a lot of the charges they throw when they throw the book at you, as it's called, they know most of those charges are false. They're not going to stick, but they're throwing everything to see what sticks. Yeah, you all know this. Come on now, don't act like you don't. You know this is a fact. But all of a sudden, with Doc, it's not like that. Everything they charged him with was a fact. He actually did it. Come on, people, use your brains. Don't be so naive, okay? Don't do that. Don't be so naive. Use your common sense. Use your real life knowledge, okay? You know they throw everything they can. When the feds want you, they're going to throw everything they can to get you. So that's, of course, they threw that at him, too. And there's a whole lot of other things they threw at him that y'all don't seem to be talking about. Why? Because it's not part of the rumor mill. It's not part of Doc's locked up, so now I can talk shit about him. So no, because he can't defend himself. Yeah. So all you Nuwapians, that lawyer is full of shit. Victoria and her legal team that y'all can insist to keep. Y'all have to keep her. Well, let me ask you a question, which I said before, and my brother Sakim said there's going to be a lot of Nuwapians listening to this program today. Well, I'm going to present a few questions to y'all. Since I'm speaking to Nuwapians, not Nuwapians, because Nuwapians, I've spoken to Nuwapians and I've spoken to Nuwapians. There are people out there who follow what Doc said, his instruction. Don't believe anything. I don't care who it is. Don't believe nothing. Check it all. Okay? And we don't believe in anything. There's a whole video out there on YouTube about belief, Doc and belief. Okay? Yeah, right. Whole video out there about did Doc say he was Jesus Christ and all this other nonsense. Okay? You just look at the videos. So anyway, Nuwapians, the N-E-W. Your Victoria, that legal team, and your leaders who care to have that legal team, including Prince York and all them other individuals. This addressed to all of you. Over 8 years ago, there's a video of the people who claimed on the stand that they were molested by Doc. There's a video of those same exact people on YouTube stating they're not under duress, not being forced to do anything according to them, that they lied, that they were coerced to do it and such pressure to do it, to make those statements on the witness stand. If any lawyer worth their salt saw that video, and Victoria and her legal team saw the video, those people on that video, in front of let's say at the minimum, 1 million people saw that video. They perjured themselves. They admitted perjury they admitted lying on the witness stand. That's called perjury. If you have your witnesses admit that they have perjured themselves or lied on the witness stand, any lawyer, even a public defender, would know that is grounds to have the case retried with no question about it, instantaneously, in any court of law. Victoria and her legal team and those around her, those Nuwapians like York and such and so forth, haven't said anything about those people perjuring themselves, lying on the witness stand. Because if they did say that, here's what would be the result. They would have to retry the case. Doc would have access, direct access to the public. And then Doc would know what's going on out here. And he would also know the bullshit his son is doing and his lawyer is doing. Because the only ones who can speak to Doc is the lawyer. So none of you really know if that lawyer is really talking to Doc or not. You don't know what's going on. All you know is something out of some video that now she all of a sudden, after me and Zakim, her brother, have just a while back, we started putting videos out challenging her to come on.
Yeah.
Soon as, obviously, you're right. As soon as she saw those videos, obviously, and we started making our statements, comments on the bottom of her videos. Go to any of her videos now. She's got comments disabled. So you're a lawyer.
That's right.
And you don't want nobody to question you. You don't want nobody to have a question for you when you're a lawyer. It's your job to be questioned. Part of your job. That's what you do in the courtroom. I wonder why that is. But you Nuwapians, you don't think about that. Why? Because you believe anything she says. You believe anything you've been told. You don't do any searching and researching to find out if the evidence supports those statements she's making and that your leaders in these mirrors are making. You don't do any checking. Why? Because you don't follow what Doc said. But everybody knows, anybody who knows Doc knows what Doc's major statement. What, for all of you who were back in the Ansar days up until now, when Doc started the class, what would he say? And the answer is, of course, he'd do the Adhan. But after the Adhan, he comes out, well, and when he came out and stood on the podium, what would he say? Don't believe me, check it for yourself.
Yeah.
What was in the pamphlets? What was in the pamphlets? Don't believe me, check it for yourself. But y'all out there believing. You don't do no checking. You don't have no information. No, I'm speaking to Nuwapians, not my brothers and sisters. Not you Nuwapians. Nuwapians, okay? You don't do no checking. You don't use that thing in your brain called analyzation. You go by emotion. If it feels right and sounds good and feels good and makes you feel good, why don't you go to a pastor or a preacher or something? Oh, you do have pastors and preachers. You call them your leaders. Yeah, that's what, because they're giving you a belief system, not what Doc showed, not what Doc instructed us to do. We're supposed to be scientists. A scientist does not go by theory, conjecture, or opinion. But somebody can tell Nuwapians, hey, A, B, C, and D. No, you can go up to a Nuwapian right today. You can go to a Nuwapian today and ask them about the case. These are the words you're going to hear. I can't talk about that. We're not supposed to talk about that. I want to ask Nuwapians, not Nuwapians, but the Nuwapians. Did Doc ever say we couldn't talk about anything? I already hear y'all. No, he never said that. What did he actually say to do? He said, what did he say to do about things? Like, did he say not to question? No, Doc said question everything. He said search and research everything. Everything. And no matter what you hear, no matter what, you have to have the evidence to support it. If the evidence doesn't support it, get them off the pulpit. Get him off of there. Get her off of there. That's what he said. But these Nuwapians, whatever they're told, they go for it. They run like, like it's the fact. And if you ask them a question, they always say, well, if you ask them something outside the case, okay, that has nothing to do with Doc, oh, they're talking their hairs off. They will, and then any of that information you say to them, prove it. No, I don't have to prove it. I said it. Doc said it. Well, okay, you say Doc said it. Prove Doc said it. Well, I can't prove Doc said it. Nonsense. We got these things, got computers now, and there's been videotapes from Doc all the way back in the Ansar days. So if they say Doc said something, Doc did something, prove it. Show me the evidence. And your words are not evidence, like this Taariq. So people, oh, and I won't forget, within 24 hours, it's 12 midnight. So by, not tomorrow, because that's 24 hours, tomorrow night will be 24 hours. So let's say the next day, I'll be on, Shakim,
Yeah.
when can you have your show again?
Yeah, thank you.
When can you do this again?
Oh, when can I do it again?
Huh?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Sunday night?
On Sunday, I'll have the wife's name.
Okay.
Sunday, I'll have the wife's name. Now, all you can also go to the Eaton, Georgia newspaper of that month that he was arrested, and he's right on the front cover, and it says it right in there. Also, the court records you can find. I already told you how to find the court records, okay? Or any court records you want, okay? And as you can see, Taariq does not know what that molestation is a federal offense, and that the federal government has charged hundreds and hundreds of people with molestation of children, of minors and adults. But Taariq seems not to know that. Taariq seems not to know that the federal government comes in and questions or interrogates, whatever word you want to use there, and questions anybody in a federal case. They do that, okay? And that the video is more, anybody knows that video is more important than a testimony. That's why they got them in every place you go. Why do they got these video cameras and, security cameras? What is security cameras for? It's for video. Well, if the human word holds more weight in court than the video, what the fuck use is the video? Having all these video tapes. Why do they have them on every corner? Where if you run a red light, why do they have them there? When you can if your word is better than the video, all you got to say is, I didn't do it. That ain't my car. And the judge would have to say, okay, you don't pay the traffic ticket. Cool. If you're going to rob a liquor store and the videotape is, if your testimony, your verbal testimony is more valuable than the videotape, then go rob a liquor store. I'm not telling you, but you know what I'm saying. Somebody can go rob a liquor store, go into the courtroom, the videotape can show them in the video store, robbing the store, and the person can say, nope, it wasn't me. And the jury has to say, and the judge has to say, you know what, the video's a lie, the testimony of the human being is better. Come on, you all hear how funny that is? Mm-hmm. How mentally disturbed a person who even thinks that is a fact is. For someone to actually think that going into a courtroom and your word is, with the words that come out of your mouth, hold more weight than a videotape. Look at the mind of a person who thinks that. A person who has the nerve to actually believe that. Come on, to believe that molestation, especially of a child, is not a federal offense. And a person who believes that, what kind of a mind is that? Think about that. The mentality of a person who actually thinks and spouts for years that child molestation is not a federal offense. Say that to one of your friends walking down the street. You know what? Child molestation ain't no federal offense. They're going to look at you like a fucking asshole. Excuse me for cursing, but they're going to look at you like an idiot. And I'm pretty sure the Nuwapians, oh no, y'all believe everything he says. but the Nuwapians and everybody else out there who's got the, whose brain is active and doesn't have this belief systems, I'm pretty dang sure that the moment you heard him say that, Taariq say that child molestation or molestation is not a federal offense, I'm pretty sure you all busted out laughing. Or at the minimum say, what kind of fool is that? Who thinks that? See, what the problem is, he didn't know that my brother Sakim was going to put me on the line. He knew he was going to put me on the line. He didn't know what kind of person I am. I'm a Nuwapian, not Nuwapian, not N-E-W. And that's who Taariq has been dealing with, Nuwapians. I'm a Nuwapian, N-U, not N-E-W. I'm an N-U, way back from the Ansar days. Yes, sir. Okay, now, of course, I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming none of that garbage, okay? I'm a human being like everybody else. Put my pants on one leg at a time. Let's get it real, okay? But come on now. All that other, the evidence, the statements he made, okay? The statements he made are part of what he believes and what he claims is his experience is, his real life, real time experiences, okay? That's what he claimed, and he's been claiming it for, I don't know how long he's been claiming them, figuring at least a year, because, come on now. So he wasn't expecting, meaning Taariq, wasn't expecting someone like me. He wasn't expecting a Nuwapian to come on and question him about his statements. He thought I was a Nuwapian coming on, and he was going to say, well, Doc did this, and Doc did this, and Doc did this. And I was going to say, oh, really? Oh, wow, when did that happen? Oh, man, so how do you feel about that, man? Really? Oh, my God. Wow, okay, well, you know what? When did that happen? Where were you? No, I'm not that person. I'm going to take your statements like everybody should be taking mine, and don't believe you. Check it for yourself. Yeah. And then see if my statements, according to the evidence, if my statements or anybody's statements are factual. Well, I just asked him some questions. He made some statements. And the statements he made, if he was in the situation he claimed, okay, if what he said was factual, absolutely, positively factual, you're just, imagine, you've been molested. You're now in, let's not say molested, okay? Let's say any kind of federal offense, okay? Whatever side you're on the defense side or the prosecution side, either one. But it's a federal offense that you're dealing with, okay? RICO, that's a federal offense. Federal government doesn't prosecute. It's a RICO Act. We're talking about the federal government got to be involved. Molestation, they got to be involved. But my point is, so you're in a federal, you're a potential witness in a federal case. Are the federal government, are federal agents going to come and question you? Yes. Federal agents are going to come and question you. Local agents, local law enforcement, federal law enforcement are going to come and question. When a local law enforcement comes into the we all know what it really is, the interrogation room. When the local police, local law enforcement come into an interrogation room on a local crime, non-federal, what's the first thing they say when they open the door and they walk into the room? Hi, I'm such and such. Excuse me. Hi, I'm agent such. I'm officer such and such. That's local. I'm officer such and such. I'm here to question you about whatever. If it's a federal case, person opens the door into the interrogation room. They say, hi, I'm agent such and such with the FBI. I'm here to question you about such and such. Yeah, normal procedure. Everybody who's ever been locked up or even been in question, interrogated, know that's the procedure. But my man Taariq, he seems to not know that's the procedure. How do I conclude that? Because he clearly stated child molestation is not a federal offense. So that would mean if it's not a federal offense, no federal agent would have come and questioned it. It would only been local police, local law enforcement. It would not have been any federal agents involved.
Mm-hmm. Right.
None. But it is a federal offense. So the local law enforcement, so the federal agents did have to come and question all participants, all parties in the case. They had to, because it's a federal offense. The other thing is this. He claims that molestation is not a federal crime. It is a state crime, not a federal crime. The way he had to come to that conclusion is because he didn't speak to any federal agents. Or he could not have spoken to a federal agent because it was not a federal crime according to him. If you turned on your computer and done the research, child molestation is a federal molestation, especially on a child, is a federal crime. It's a federal offense. Automatically the feds come in. Automatically the feds come in. But they didn't come in and question him. The feds did not question Taariq. They couldn't have, because he says that it's not a federal offense. Think about that. You're being questioned about a crime that is a federal offense, but the feds are not questioning you about it, and you're not told it's a federal offense. In the court documents that you got to sign and all of that other shit, it doesn't say federal offense. It doesn't, all the court documents, which it does say federal offense, okay, transporting children across minors across state lines for the purposes of business is a federal offense. But like I stated, when you leave one state and let's say you have a store, okay, or business in one state and you have a store in another state, and you take one of your children or your family from one state to another state, and your child is standing in the store selling an incense like they do right now, okay, that's a federal offense. But people do that all the time with their children. People in IBM, Macy's, people who own businesses do that all the time, okay? But no one's ever charged with it being a federal offense. Okay, no one's ever charged with it, basically, unless it's something they want to part of the book when they throw the book at you. See what I'm saying? So all this,
yeah.
Them fools, look, for all you Nuwapians, I'm willing to have a conversation with any of you. And actually, no, forget you Nuwapians. Hey, brothers and sisters Nuwapians, the NU, okay? The real, the people who follow Doc, the real Doc's things, okay? The Nuwapians. I'd like to get together and talk with any of y'all anytime about anything, okay? For real, I have much love for y'all. But you Nuwapians, and I'm not necessarily saying that all Nuwapians are following a religion, or no, let me rephrase this. There's a lot of people who are Nuwapians and actually believe they're Nuwapians, you know? I'm going to use a different phrase so people can hear me clearer. There's these fake Nuwapians who believe they are real Nuwapians. They believe they're being taught what Doc taught and everything like this. They don't know the difference. Why? Because they were not with Doc. When Doc got locked up, some of these people basically were just becoming, teenagers and stuff like that. Got to understand that. It's the people who are giving them the false information, who are running these mirrors and stuff, who were with Doc, who actually were in their 20s and 30s when Doc was out, was free, who are lying. They're manipulating these new people coming who are trying to join the family and find their way. They are just straight lying to them and manipulating them and just playing them. It happens with all groups. It does. It just happens with all groups. Just check it. It's just the way it always goes. Okay? When the leader goes, when the leader dies or goes away in whatever shape, form, or fashion, the people who are considered to be the so-called leaders after the main leader died, they always manipulate things. They always do that. 99% of the time, they always trick the new people coming in. They always lie to them. They always manipulate the information. It's happened over and over and over, and it will continue to happen. It's just the way it goes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, hold on for a second. So, I'm gonna do my best to end like this. As you people can tell, Taariq is a liar. The things that if you were in his shoes and it actually happened to you, and you were actually on the witness stand in a federal case, you would know that child molestation is a federal offense. You would know that videotape is more valuable piece of evidence than word of mouth, than somebody speaking. You would know this. You would know these things. You would know that the federal government has charged and convicted hundreds and hundreds of people for child molestation and molestation of adults. You would know this. And if you had a slight memory, you will remember that it happened, that some of these cases, major cases, happened on the news. Okay? They were on the news. Do y'all not remember that people were eating children and molesting them? Do you not remember things like this? These are in the news. And Taariq, because he's so engulfed in his own bullshit, sorry for lack of a better word, he can't even remember that even if he wasn't in court, okay? Even if he just never was, ever in his life. And as part of his lie, he could just remember, he couldn't even remember that on television, there were major cases of the century where serial killers captured and molested, shot apart, and ate children. And those serial killers were charged with those crimes and convicted. Hundreds of them. There's at least 30 of them that came in my lifetime. There's at least 30 that I know. There's at least 10 I can mention off the top of my head that just came through. Go on your computer. There it is again. Go on your computer. Okay? Child molesters convicted. How many people were convicted of child molestation in America by the federal government? Hit enter. You're gonna get 1,000. I'm trying to get and then hit the part that says images. You're gonna get their photographs right there. Come on. And he has the audacity to have the even the kind of mentality to say that child molestation is not a federal offense. He got caught in his lies. He's used to people just sitting around going, "Oh, really? Oh, wow, child molestation is not a federal offense? Oh, wow, okay, cool, yeah." And not even having the wherewithal, who are hearing that, the people not even having the wherewithal to say, "Well, let me check it. That sounds right, but let me check to see if the information is right or not." Because from what you're saying, it sounds cool. It sounds like you're right. So I'm not the kind of person that's going to walk around and say, "Well, it's right. It's right." Where did you get that information that you say is right? Well, I heard it from Taariq. Oh, really? Okay, where Taariq get it from? Well, Taariq got it from Joe Schmo. Okay, where Joe Schmo? Nobody's going to say, well, I got it from the law enforcement. It's from the federal government website. I didn't go to the federal government's website and put in where it says questions, ask questions, contact us, and stuff like that. I didn't put in there and say it's child molestation, a federal offense. No, I didn't put in there. I didn't even put in my search engine. Is child molestation a federal offense? No, I didn't even do that. Something as simple as that. A 4-year-old would figure out to do that, but not Taariq. Not people like with the mentality of Taariq. That's why I called him a boy. Eventually, I started calling him a boy. Because you have these things, and I'm sure everybody knows people like I'm about to state. There are boys living in some men's bodies, and there are girls living in some women's bodies. Meaning, there are some grown men that think and act like they're little boys, like they're 17 or 18 or 15. There are grown women that act like they are 17, 18, 15, and stuff like this. They act like little kids. And you know it. So when I run across people like that, if I have to spend any time around them, which I don't most of the time, but if I do, I call them what I see. You're acting like a boy. You're acting like a girl. So I'm going to call you boy. I'm going to call you girl until you start acting like a grown man or grown woman. Not saying you don't get emotional and stuff like that. We all have emotion. Come on. We're human. But you know what I'm talking about. I know everybody out there who's hearing this knows. You know somebody who acts, some grown man, some grown person, man or woman, who acts like a little boy or a little girl. Like they're some teenager. Yeah, you do, and I know you do. I can hear all you saying, well, damn, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's why I called him a boy.
Yeah.
Because he's saying things, you hear me? Because he's saying things to me. He's saying things to us all. He put it out there to the world to hear. Statements he's putting out there to the whole world for everybody to hear. Not just this little clique of friends who, you know, just because they feel how they feel, they run with it like it's a fact. He's putting it out there to hear. Well, if you don't want somebody to scrutinize and analyze what you say, stay your ass at home. And definitely don't come on Brother Sakim's channel and have him put me on with you. Okay, don't do that. Just don't do that. Because I'm a Nuwapian. I have no options in this. It's not like I have an option. You know, I don't have an option. For a moment there, and this will be the end. For a moment there, I did want to give this Taariq a pass. I really did. Like myself, not the Nuwapian, but just me. I did want to give him a pass. And here's why. Because Doc is never coming out. So the conversation is mute. He's never coming out. The evidence is showing me. The evidence that I have shows that he's never coming out. And here's why. Because they're never going to change the legal counsel, his legal counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Prince York and them are not going to change because they are making billions and billions of dollars off of people's. I'm not even going to go into that part of it. But he's never coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Doc is a cash cow. People are making so much loot off of Doc while he's locked up.
Yep.
They're never going to let Doc out. Never. Never, ever, ever. And for you Nuwapians who since the day Doc's been locked up, y'all been talking about Victoria's got this in the works, but we can't talk about it. She's doing this, but we can't talk about it. This is going to be done, but we can't talk about it. It's a year. How many years has it been? At least 15 years now. What's she done? They keep having that belief, just like they believe Jesus is coming back, and you know Santa Claus is real, and you know all that other bullshit y'all believe, all that other belief system. That's just another belief y'all have. Yeah, he's coming back. He's like your Jesus. He's like the Christian Jesus. Jesus will rise again and come and save you. Yeah, Doc is coming out, and he's coming in with new information. He's going to save you. Get out of here. Didn't Doc tell you to keep in the real world? Didn't Doc tell you this is the real world, the physical world, the real world, with all these other things going on around it? Yeah, but y'all don't want to deal with that. They want to go to the land of fantasy and believe. Oh, well, so be it. Taariq, I'm sorry that I had to. No, I'm not sorry. I was going to leave. I was going to give him a pass because this really, in the bigger picture of things, Doc is not coming out. So this conversation really didn't really, in the big picture of things, it didn't mean anything. But I couldn't give, that's me. Okay, just part of me. But the Nuwapian in me, you talking about Doc, son. Okay, you're talking about Doc. Boy, I'm not the one. I am not the one. Okay, you are talking about Doc. The one who gave me the foundation for everything I am. Who made me a scientist, who didn't make me, but showed me and taught me, like he showed and taught millions of others how to be a scientist. A Nuwapian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's going to talk dirt about him, and I'm supposed to stand aside and do nothing and say nothing. I'm not that guy. 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 Okay, and I'm going to say it again. I am not that guy. So, all you Nuwapians, I challenge any of you. I get not a challenge, excuse me. I give you an open invitation. Have a conversation with me at any time on Sakim's channel. Now, I already know you're not going to do it. Okay, I know you're not going to do it because you're all run scared. Okay, it's just the way it is because you know you're hearing a real Nuwapian. That's why, and you know how I'm going to deal with you. Okay, but I give you an open invitation anyway. For real. And to the real Nuwapians out there, I love you all dearly. I dearly love you all because our way is being infested with these Nuwapians and these people who are talking. When you hear these people talk garbage about Doc and the real Nuwapians, I want you to say this to them. If you remember this, I want you to make this statement to them. One, anything they say, tell them present the evidence. And your words are not evidence. The second thing I want you to say, or another thing I want you to say to them is this. Where were you when Doc was out? Where were you? Why were you silent as a church mouse underneath a rat's behind when Doc was free? How come you were silent? You couldn't hear nothing from y'all. None of you. None of you. None of you said nothing about Doc when he was out. But when he all of a sudden got locked up, you all got all this garbage to talk. Your bitch asses. You're straight bitch asses. You say something about somebody in front of their face. That's what grown people do. You say things in front of the person's face where they have the opportunity to defend themselves. You don't talk shit behind their back. Men who do that are bitches. Women who do that are bitches too. Anybody who does, well, it's acceptable from a child because a child does not know about logic and reasoning yet. But if you're talking shit about somebody behind their back, what's the street rules say once that person or one of that person's friends or family get near you? What's the street rules say? You're damn right that's what the street rules say. Yeah. Think about what I just said to y'all people. Yeah. So for all you backbiters and shit talkers and all of that, where were you when Doc was free? You was quiet like your bitch ass was born. That's what you was. That's what you were. Now you can say anything you want about me and all that other shit, But you're speaking about Doc, who's not out here to defend himself. Why? Why are you doing it now? Because you're a scared little bitch ass, because you knew if he was standing in front of you, he'd crush everything your ass was saying. 99% of what you know you got from him, you just don't want to fucking admit it.
Yep.
Yeah, keep it real.
Yeah.
Some of the things y'all say, that blah, 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 y'all be saying all A, B, C, and D, and then y'all make statements like y'all came up with the statement or got it from somewhere else. And then next thing I know, I'm looking at one of his old pamphlets, and you're saying one of his statements exactly, verbatim, word for word, that he said. Come on now. You little scary little bitch asses. That's right.
Yeah.
You mad now? That called you a bitch ass, all you people who talking shit about Doc, now that he's locked up? Well, come on and challenge and debate me, to talk to me, conversate with me. But you won't, because you're bitch asses. Okay, let me get back to my Nuwapian stuff now. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm catching a cold, my goodness. Anyway, so that's all I got to say, people. Taariq, you're full of shit. You know you're full of shit. And you're full of shit. All those are in that kind of bandwagon. It's too easy to prove that y'all are full of shit. All somebody has to do, come on the channel with me. Come on the channel with me. I've heard a lot of stuff that these liars are talking. And I'm glad my brother has this channel, because all of y'all have to do, I mean, all of you, I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite, I don't care what your religion is, I don't care if you got a religion, don't got a religion, I don't care about any of that. Come on, come at me, come on. Or let's just have a conversation, a friendly conversation. I don't care one way or the other. You know, it's all good with me. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm a Nuwapian. I'm a scientist. I investigate. Okay, I search and research. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this clear though. If Taariq, like I asked my brother Zakim when he told me about this, that he was setting up this interview the other day. I said to him, really? This guy's saying that Doc molested him? What evidence does he present? What's the evidence, actual evidence that he's presenting? None. Look, what are you talking about here? He present no evidence. He just saying it, and people are saying that it's true? Basically. All right, I'm getting on the show with you then. Plain and simple. That's all it took for me. How are you going to say something and just be able to say it, and nobody's going to question you on it and then analyze what you said? Only an idiot does that. Only a retarded person, a mentally ill person, hears something that, oh no, that's right, damn. Niggers, the niggerism. Niggers do that. That's that niggerism. Niggers are gossipers. That's, oh shit, my bad. I forgot all about that factor in the equation. It's the niggeritis, the niggerosis. Niggas hear niggas say something, and nigger runs to another nigger and tells a nigger that the same shit one nigger told another nigger, one nigger, two nigger, three nigger, four. Oh shit. I forgot all about that syndrome. It's that nigger shit. Right. I heard it from my nigga. My nigga said it, and I heard it from my nigga. And my nigga put it on YouTube, and now the niggas are telling the niggas that they're telling the niggas when they cross the world, the niggas over there know about the niggas. Oh my God. People are stupid. Holy shit. I'm sorry, bro.
Hey.
I was going to keep that part to myself. Yeah,
man, you know, hey.
I forgot all about that shit, man. I forgot about the nigga factor.
Man, shoot.
Right. Niggas sit around, talk shit, and think everything is real.
This channel no hold bars.
Go ahead. What you say, bro?
I said this channel no hold bars, man. You ain't doing nothing wrong.
Say again?
This channel no hold bars, man. You ain't said nothing wrong.
Yo, okay, I'm sorry. Well, you know me, bro. All y'all been around. Stop believing bullshit, man. Stop believing shit because people just said it to you. I don't give a damn if it's your mama, your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle. Fuck that. Somebody say something to you, tell them prove it. And then if they say blah, 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 that ain't fucking proof. That's just you saying shit. Damn. a lot less people would be shot dead. A lot less family problems would be happening, and all of this. If we just said a lot less rumors and a lot less bullshit would be going on. If people said, "Prove what you said is true," prove it. Right now, I can say on this channel, I'm not going to, but right now, I could say something that was total bullshit. I mean, total bullshit, and know it's bullshit, and can prove it's bullshit. But I could say it like it's a fact. I'm betting you there'd be niggas and Nuwapians spreading it around like it's a truth, like it's a fact. I know it for sure. You know what? No, I ain't gonna do that. That's not cool. I ain't gonna do that. That's not cool. But I'm willing to bet that I could say some pure bullshit, 100%, nothing else but bullshit. Just bullshit. And people would run around spouting it off like it's the truth. And if I never came back and said, that was bullshit, straight bullshit, it would spread like wildfire for the next 1,000 years. They'd probably end up on fucking YouTube. People, you got to start thinking. You got to start analyzing. Okay? Stop going by what people are saying and believing it. Like I said to you all, don't believe me. Like Doc always said, always before every class and after every class, all the time. It's on video, it's in the pamphlets. He said, don't believe me, check it for yourself. Don't believe me, check it for yourself. A person who tells you don't believe them and check it for yourself, what do they want you to do? Now, you Nuwapians and people who think like Taariq, you're going to say something, well, you don't want us to check it. No, idiot. The reason you tell somebody don't check it is because it encourages them to check it. That's why you tell them, don't believe me. So they check it for themselves. It encourages the person. It encourages the logical person, the non-mentally ill person, to check it for themselves. That's what it does. Plain and simple. But Taariq and people like that and Nuwapians don't want you to check anything. That's why this is why Victoria turned off her comments. Because she don't want nobody checking her. Don't check me. You check me, you might find out I'm full of shit. A person who says, I don't want to hear your comments. I don't want to hear your point of view. I don't want you to question me. I don't want you to analyze what I'm saying. They're scared of something. They're hiding something. Anybody should say, and whatever a person says, they should be like, yeah, man, check it out. Go check it for yourself. Analyze everything I've said. A person who says that and means it and actually wants you to do it, that person actually knows that they're speaking truth and knows when you do the research and it's searching in the research, you're going to find out it's a fact. But people like Taariq, full of shit. What does that sound, bro? Is that people have comments?
No, that's another device. That's another device with just alerts coming through.
Oh, okay. So, anybody got any questions or statements or whatever?
Yeah, it's quite a few stuff in here.
Okay.
Let me see.
Hold on. Okay.
Well, a lot of people is agreeing with you. Then there's some people here that's not. I'm just somebody said, yeah, we don't. When you said nobody knows what's going on, somebody said, Kingdom L said, yeah, we don't know. Janice Scott says facts all day. Let me see.
Wait, said what?
Facts all day.
Facts. FATCA.
Yeah.
FACTS. Okay.
I thought this was supposed to be a respectful exchange. This was trash.
I have very little tolerance of people who bullshit, especially people who want to bullshit on Doc. All I do after he made his initial statements, and I actually wrote them down so I could repeat them back to him. And then he started screaming and yelling and all this other stuff. So I screamed and yelled over him until I figured out this guy does not want to deal with facts. I'm just addressing that statement, okay? Doesn't want to deal with facts. Okay, he's got a mental problem that the only thing that he deals with is what he says. I don't care about what I care about what he says, but I care more about whether what he says is supported by provable evidence or not. I've already gone through how he cannot have been telling the facts because of the statements he made about the federal government and such and so forth. Okay?
Mm-hmm. My brother Pampezi. You know brother Pampezi.
Yep.
He asked, was you on the land? Interruptions is crazy.
Wait, he's asking me if I was on the land?
Yeah, he asked, was you on the land? But that was way back. That was way back. I don't even know if he's still on here or not. It was a lot of the comments, huh? Say that again?
No, go ahead.
No, a lot of the comments that's on here is by people that's probably left already.
Yeah.
Once Taariq left, most of the people that, was on his side left. So, most of them is gone. So
what statements did they make?
Man, it's so many.
What comments did they put?
Let me see. I gotta.
I mean, like I said before,
I gotta magnify the thing. Kingdom L said.
Like I said before, people. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Kingdom L. He was totally on your side, but he said to me, Brother Sakim, remember to have your white, and I'm not even sure how to pronounce the word. You probably know it. Jalabia.
Yeah, Jalabia.
Yeah,
that's the outer garment, the long coat that hangs down.
Yeah, he said, Brother
okay, go ahead.
Brother Sakim, remember to have your white jalabia, the elite fruit style I got. Wait a minute, let me pull it over. Mine's is the last days we should be wearing those white holy clothes, Messiah style.
Okay, I hear what he's saying. He's saying in the last days we should be having a white jalabia on. Okay, now check this out. The Nuwapians say that in the last day we should have on black. That's why they wear black. That's what Nuwapians say. They say we should be wearing black.
Okay.
So should we be wearing white or should we be wearing black? You tell me.
I don't know if he's still there or not, because it's kind of winding down. I guess because people got to go to work and all that stuff. But right now, I'm not sure if he's still there. So
no, I'm just saying that because this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
So I'm just putting it out there so if they hear it later.
Oh, he's still there.
Respond if they want to.
He's still there. He said white. Brother's still there.
Okay. Now the Nuwapians, the NEW Wapians, say black. Because in the Ansar days, we were wearing white. Okay, no question about it. And it says that in the books of mythology, the Quran, the Torah, and the King James Version of the Bible. Okay, in those books of mythology, it says that Injil and such were wearing white. Prophets wore white. Agree. I agree with you 100%. But the Nuwapians say that it's black. Ask a Nuwapian what they say. So my question again, which one is correct? Because the Nuwapians say their teaching comes from Doc. Okay? And the Ansar way, or the Nuwapian, and our way, the real Nuwapians say our way comes from Doc. Now, I'll present this point. I'll present another perspective on the whole thing. Black, none of that really matters. And here's why. Color's not real. Color is just an energy of reflection of light, which is another energy. So let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, we're on a planet with two suns. What we're calling black would not be black. What we're calling white would not be white. And on our Earth itself, depending on the spectrum of light that we happen to be in, we would see a color that is not, let's say, for instance, this color now might be blue, but at a different angle in the color spectrum, still on the same Earth, that color might be yellow. Colors are not real. They're just a perspective. And being that beings who are not physical would not be concerned. Hold on for a second. Okay, non-physical beings would not be concerned with physical things. Whether it's a jalabia or a pants or jalabia or pantaloons or whatever, non-physical beings are not concerned with those items. Those are only items that physical beings are concerned about. Follow?
Yeah.
So, from a scientific point of view, it's not. That's. I mean, I hear where he's coming from, and I understand the point he's making. I believe. Okay, but in the bigger picture of things, whether it's white, black, green, purple, that's all a human perspective of the eye, of the physical, okay? And when we transition, we're not going to be in the physical. So it's like, and I'll give you another idea, another point of view, if I can, like this. In the Christian and Muslim belief system, religious belief system, you go to hell and you burn in fire. Well, fire is physical. And I know I'm reiterating or repeating something that Doc said back when.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking to my brother, Taariq. I mean, not Taariq. I'm speaking to the brother who, I'm sorry, what's the brother's name?
Kingdom L.
So, Kingdom L. Okay, I'm speaking to Kingdom L. I'm addressing his statement. In the Christian and the Muslim religion and in Judaism, they believe once you transition, you either go to heaven or hell. In heaven, there's lakes of fire and you burn and all of this jazz. Okay, if you go to heaven, there's rivers of gold and angels and pearly gates and all this other stuff. All those things are physical. Why does a soul need anything? Why does it need clothes or pearly gates, or how you going to burn it? You can't. Okay, those are physical things. Right. So my point is, that's in the bigger picture of things, those are symbols. Whether you wear white, okay. Whether you wear black, okay. It's your own symbol. It's a symbol. It's like a cross. We know the history of the cross, of course, okay? But it's a symbol, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Ankh, it's a symbol, okay? These things are symbols, the Mogan David or the Star of David. Those are symbolic. And the symbol only means something to those who wear it or use it. I'll give you an example. In China, okay, they use the Star of David, but it's for a completely different purpose. Okay, and the meaning behind it is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you another example. Okay, there's a thing called a Chrono 2, or the Devil's Horns. Most of you will know it by the symbol of the devil that Satanists use for the devil. Yeah, that's one with the two fingers up and all. In America, in the Western world, that means the devil. But if you go to like Tibet, you go to China, you go to the Himalayas, and places like this, that has nothing at all to do with the devil. Nothing whatsoever to do with the devil. But these are symbols, okay? I say red, white, and blue. You grew up in America, first thing you see in your brain when I say red, white, blue, you think of American flag.
Mm-hmm.
But if you grew up in France and I said red, white, and blue, you would think of the French flag.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because these are symbols. They're only symbols. They don't mean anything in the bigger picture of things, okay? So I'm just saying that to say this. Whether you're wearing white, whether you're wearing green, okay, the order of Melchizedek, brother. The order of Al-Qadir. The order of Al-Qadir. If you were in the Ansar days, I'm not going any further into the details of that. But you will understand if you were of the order of Al-Qadir, you would clearly understand what I just said to you. Okay? For the order, the Al-Qadir order, what color were we wearing? Yeah, brother. So should it be the color of Al-Qadir? Should it be white or should it be black? Okay. Doesn't matter. That's something for the physical being. Okay? I'm concerned more about the non-physical being. Okay, I want to know more about my ruh. Okay, my soul, what's happening with that? Okay, what can I do now to make it better later? And all that other jazz that comes along. Okay, this physical thing, tell you the truth, man, I couldn't give two shits about it. Just that I got to deal with it. Okay, I got to deal with being a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. Okay, I can't stand this fucking planet. I can't stand this planet. I like the earth. I'm not talking about the earth. I can't. You understand? For the conversation of me, you, and the third brother here I can't stand this place. Didn't Doc say it's a prison? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. The more information I have, the more knowledge I have, the more I know about prison is fucking hellhole. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Don't you walk around all the time looking at things and saying, God damn, I wish you were. Come on, man. Can't they see? Don't they know? Can't they see it? It's right in front of them.
Yeah.
Shit. I want to, you don't know how many times I'd like to just be off this planet and go home. This ain't my home. This is the place my body is. This ain't my fucking home. My home has nothing to do with this kind of life. Nothing to do with this. Nothing at all to do with this life. This is not my home. And as far as I see it, it will never be my home. This is not home. This is just a place I am right now. It's where my body is. And my soul is here for some fucking reason. I have to come to this damn place. But anyway, I'm here, so I deal with it. You know? I will deal with it. This is not it. This is not my home.
Yeah.
This is not my place of origin. I don't give a damn about the green, the red, the blue, the orange, the yellow, the black, the white, purple. I don't give a shit about that. bigger picture of things I'm talking about. I care about going back home.
Yeah, I think
Get back home. Yeah.
I think it'd be a good time, to go ahead and close out. It's after 1 o'clock. I
All
gotta
right.
I gotta get ready to go to the plantation. you know,
Man, it's 1 o'clock in the fucking morning.
yeah, I gotta get a few things done.
Damn, I gotta hit the plantation at 5:30.
Yeah,
Christ, I gotta be at the plantation at 5:30.
I see in here
1 o'clock in the morning.
I see in here Taariq said something, but I'll tell you about it tomorrow because it's late and we just talk about it tomorrow or when we see each other and might get something going another time. But I'm getting ready to roll.
Yeah, okay, that's cool, but I'm not dealing with him anymore, bro.
Okay.
I'm not dealing with him anymore. Mentally ill people are not worth, talking to.
Okay.
But anyway, man. All right, brother. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me on. It's my pleasure. My
Thank
honor.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
Have a good one.
Say,
Towel hat, bro. Towel hat.
all right, what I do? Well, there you have it. I just let him go. I mean, no hold bars. I shut my mouth and I just let them go. Unless they want a debate where it's cut off in sections and that is what the word I'm looking for I don't even know. I'm fucking tired. Anyway, this Friday, Brother Sakim Muhammad is going to be on, and the topic is going to be, did Dr. York have a fair trial? He's going to be on this Friday, and it's going to be on Key Light Productions, 10:30. I thank my guest, Brother Taalib. I thank Taariq Noel. I thank everybody in the chat room. I thank Kingdom L for putting that question up there and participating. And with that being said, I am out of here.